Hi, I'm Hans Kaspersetz, Chief Strategist of Arteric and one of its co-founders. And I was recently asked, how do you foster innovation in medical device and pharmaceutical marketing organizations? Our experience is that innovation is not the result of random serendipity or pure inspiration. It emerges from a set of processes and a level of curiosity that allows innovation to emerge and then thrive on its own merit. And the way we get there is quite frequently we find ourselves asking ourselves, like, what if we could, and then fill in this really random, wild creative idea. And after that question comes out, we sort of debate it for a little while as a team, and then we immediately put some resources behind it. So if an idea even appears remotely possible, first what we do is we usually put about a week's worth of resources behind it, and almost always somebody within the organization will volunteer to build that first proof of concept. Once that proof of concept comes back to the team, we get together, we start to talk about its utility, and then we'll put, say, 3 weeks of work behind it. And then that process will continue iteratively until we get to a product or a technology or an idea that has functional utility within the company. And this is a really important idea for us because we're oftentimes just scratching our own itch, right? We see a problem in the marketplace, we see someplace that we could work smarter or faster, and we're like, what if technology could solve that thing? And so now I want to share with you 3 commercial ideas that have emerged from this process. So the first example I want to share with you emerged in around 2010, 2011. And the team we were building a lot of lead gen websites and sort of single page websites that are for landing pay-per-click traffic and organic traffic. And what we wanted to know was, what if we could track every single phone call that came into our organization or our client's organization and determine what the source of that phone call was. And so the team sat down and we started to build a call tracking solution based on Twilio's APIs. And what came out of it was a JavaScript PHP solution that would dynamically change the phone numbers on a website based on the source, where the referral of that traffic came from. And it really makes us happy today because we're still using the same solution today, right? And so if you were to go to arteric.com, the phone number you see might be different from the phone number somebody else sees based on where you came from. And then when you call that phone number, we get a message internally that tells us where you're coming from. So did you come from pay-per-click? Did you come from organic? Did you come from a traditional ad? And we have found that really useful over the years, and so have our clients. The next innovative tool that we built here at Arteric was our visual comparison tools for websites. In 2013, our clients' websites this is pharmaceutical and biotechnology clients, their websites started to scale to hundreds or thousands of pages. And the effort required to verify that no page on a website had changed during updates or that the changes were exactly what we expected them to be started to become huge. The QA team had to be, lots and lots of bodies, and it was very, very difficult to track. So in identifying that problem in the market, we asked ourselves, what if we could automate the verification of 2 web pages? We would compare a control copy of the web page to the new copy of the web page, and then get a histogram for all of the changes, and then be able to track the evolution of a web page over long periods of time. Now, this idea itself wasn't super innovative, right? Abbott Labs was doing this in print more than a decade ago, but to do it on the web was new and innovative in pharmaceutical and healthcare marketing. And so we built our visual comparison tool. So that tool today will go out, crawl, in other words, identify all of the pages on a website, take screenshots of all of them, and then compare them, and then flag up to our QA teams the ones that have changed. And this has enabled us now to be able to take a website of, say, 1,000 pages or more and verify that no page has changed in any way on a pixel by pixel basis from one update to the next, especially when we're doing, say, content management system patching or plugin patching or doing some sort of back-end optimization for performance. So the big payout on an innovation like our visual tracking comparison tool, our testing tool, was that something that would take us 80 person hours or 60 person hours to test and verify can now be done in less than, say, 10 hours. And that time savings results in a financial savings, but it also results in much higher quality because the quality assurance team is far less fatigued from looking at the same thing over and over, trying to identify very small changes, right? And what we've been able to do is sort of integrate that tool into a broader, more automated workflow that accelerates the delivery of our updates so that as a security patch comes out or there's a PI update or some sort of time-sensitive and urgent update for a client, we're able to execute on them much faster with much higher levels of quality and precision. So example number 3 emerged from an insight that we had in 2014. In 2014, Google came out and said, we're going to rank content that does one of two things. It either answers a question or it helps somebody complete a task. And that really opened our eyes, right? Because of this concept of micro moments and the fact that customers are going to have many small touch points throughout their journey with your brand, right? From identifying their own need, feeling an urge to evaluate products, all the way through to purchase, right? Or to prescription and to fulfilling that prescription and adherence. And so we sat down and we took a look at one of our brands' performance in this particular regard, right? We had approximately 50,000 verbatim searches that were made for this brand. And we took a look at all the ones that were a question. And after analyzing that, so we looked at, I think, 50,000 rows of data, we identified 1,700 questions, and we found that there were about 250 questions that were relevant that the brand could answer. And when we dug into that, we analyzed 175 of them. So we went into the search results, we looked to see if the brand was ranking there, and whether or not the brand answered the question that the user asked. And what we discovered was that while the brand displayed content approximately 116 times out of the 174, 104 of them didn't answer the question that the user actually asked. And that there were only 4 instances where the brand answered the question that the user asked. Now, the answer may have existed somewhere on the brand's website, but we know that users only click 1 to 2 links on a website or 1 to 2 pages. They visit 1 to 2 pages, and so quite frequently the user might not even get to the answer. And we stood back and we were really surprised, right? This was a pretty huge insight for us because it meant we weren't really identifying what the users were looking for. And we went out, we built a content strategy to address it, and we're starting to collect data on its effectiveness. And then we took the same approach a year later to another brand, except that brand had 250,000 records that we had to sort through. And the first time we did the analysis on 50,000 records, it took us about 80 hours. We realized there was no way to do the analysis on 250,000 records in a cost-effective way. So we asked ourselves, like, what if we could build a tool? What if we could use machine learning and artificial intelligence to analyze this data more rapidly, find all the questions, group up all the different types of questions, and then go out and identify whether or not the brand is answering them online. And what we did was, out of that question, we sat down and started to identify, are there algorithms in the marketplace available today that we can tap into and train to do this work? And we found a couple. So we found, Word2Vec, we found Retina.io from Cortico.io. No, we found the Retina API from Cortico.io. And we started to build software around this and build a solution around this. And the innovation was that at the end, after we built the tool and started using it, we could process approximately 250,000 rows of data in just a couple of minutes and find the same insights that took us upwards of 80 hours, person hours to do before. And that's a pretty huge innovation, right? What the result there is that we can ask many, many more questions of the data. We can interrogate it many, many more times in the same amount of time, human person billable time, that we could have just to answer one question before. And as we did this, it sort of unlocked other hidden insights in the data, right? Really weak but very important signals in the data. And so you find, searches in foreign languages. So then we take our, the latent semantic analysis engine that we built, and then we chain it to a translation engine and a language classifier. And then we look at what results come out of that. And so, that process, all three examples that I shared today, came from sort of this curiosity, right? What if we could solve this really big, hairy idea? What if we could take technology, accelerate the way we do business so that we could focus on solving the business problem, right? Instead of focus on doing human analysis or sort of trying to piece together attribution. And the rewards are sort of manifold, right? Because not only do our clients get better product, and do their customers get better experiences because we're able to do things that don't generally scale, like we can personalize content for people, but the team inside Arteric gets to explore and be creative and be thoughtful and work with new and interesting technologies, which keeps them engaged. And so, the sort of the sum of this, right, and it's a really long take, but the sum of this is that the things that lead to innovation in healthcare marketing, and certainly at Arteric, is curiosity, right? We really are curious about what we're doing, and this really deep need to itch our own scratch. To scratch our own itch, right? Like this need, like, oh yeah, can we solve that problem? And it's been really exciting, and we've been doing it this way now since 1999 across a broad spectrum of industries, and it's what gets me to come to work in the morning. Every day I kind of wake up and I think, wow, like what are we going to get to solve today? Like what big hairy problem can we fix today? And that's super rewarding, and I'm grateful for it. So there's your answer. Thanks for watching the video. And if you want to learn more about how Arteric innovates in healthcare marketing, check out our website. And if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe below and don't forget to hit like.